Likutei. We are holding by Seif Lamed Hey, where we said that since the main area that must be purified, must be processed, is the area of the chitzonis, is the external. Me? What's wrong with that? Well, I had some crumbs in there.
Yeah.
That's when I go in the street, I get hungry. It's still there. All right.
It's making its way.
I'm making it worse, huh?
No,
That's me.
You're red.
That's me making it worse. All right. So we have to write the pashas on the skin, because the skin is a parallel reality to Noga, where we need to sift and take out the good and dispose of the bad. And we learned that when it comes to spirituality, actually all form of reality are parallel manifestation of one another, such as the head in the body and the tzaddik in Am Yisrael, and Am Yisrael for all the goyim. This is all parallel realities of a head and body. And the world is built in such a way that when you affect one level of such manifestation, you affect all the rest of them. So when you are misbottled to the tzaddik, your body is misbottled to your head, and the goyim are misbottled to Am Yisrael. And chas v'chalila, the opposite. So wherever it is we're talking about the union of korbanos. The union of korbanos is that when a person does an avera, he's actually mechayev himself misa, because what he did was bring up the animalistic aspect of himself over the human aspect of himself. In the Avera, it's a behema. What happens is that the behema aspect of a person, the animalistic, the body aspect, needs to be lowered, needs to be eliminated, needs to be rectified. But tachas l'maisa, what it means is the person needs to die, because death is, the bringing down of the animalistic aspect.
The Behemi person?
Yep.
Aspect of it?
Yeah. To bring down the animalistic aspect and bringing up the spiritual aspect. Kodesh Baruch Hu Berachamov had told us what we can do. We can transfer the disposal of our own animalistic aspect by bringing a behema for korban, because the same way that the body of a person is to his neshama, an animal is to a human being. These are parallel realities, which when you affect one, it affects the other.
A person's
So,
body is the same as an animal to a person?
a person's body is to his neshama like an animal is to a person, to a whole person. Like a body a head is to the body, the tzaddik is to Am Yisrael, and Am Yisrael is to the goyim. Is a head and body. So you see, these are parallel manifestations of the same reality. So what we're saying over here is that we're affecting our own medama and connecting it to the Sechel Amiti, to the Torah, to Ruach Nevuah, by writing the film on the skin of a behemoth. Because behemoth itself is a manifestation of Medama. So behemoth doesn't have Sechel, all it has is just Medama. And the skin of the behemoth is the Medama of the Medama. That's the outside layer of the Medama. It's like the lowest of the low. All we need to do is connect the highest of the high, which is the Parshas of Tefillin, and write them on the lowest of the low in order to bring about the Birurim and bring about the Nitzvahs of the Kedusha. That's why it has to be a skin which is kosher, a kosher animal. From that kind that is allowed for you to consume, to eat. Even if the specific skin that you're bringing comes from an avela or a trefa, it's not really a kosher animal, but the species is a kosher species. As long as it does not come from the skin of a tumadik animal. You also need that the skin should be worked, l'shem tefillin, with the designation of becoming tefillin l'shem kedushas tefillin. Because it is not possible to receive, to sustain, to contain the kedusha samerchen of the tefillin, the kedusha of the intellect of the tefillin. The only way you can actually, by you as a person, as a human being, you want to attain the light of tefillin in this world. The light of tefillin is tremendously exalted, tremendously high. You want to get the light of tefillin in this world, b'chlal, to put such a high spiritual reality into the world. The only way you can do this, what you need to do is you need to work over your madama, which is uraguf, totally. That the body would not have an iota of any kind of taiva in this world. Even a smell of a taiva a person shouldn't have. This is what Rabbeinu said in Lashon HaKodesh, in his holy language, in his holy sichas she'omar she'tzrichin le'aber desaguf, that you have to work over, you have to process the body. Like leather, that you process it well, that you're able to turn it backwards and forward and see that it's totally clean. And he says, and there are those gdolim, those tzaddikim that Rabbeinu called tzaddikim, okay, that broke the taivas of the guf totally. But it's still like a worked, like a processed skin. That still has some kind of a foul smell. But you have to work over and process the body to such an extent that there shouldn't be a smell of any type of whatsoever. Because the cleansing of the body.
Is that not a stira to say that there's these tzaddikim who have completely perfected their moichin and their madama, and they don't even have a yet zahara in them. So why are they still got this right?
Because it says they still did not do it. It says even though they are considered to be gdolim, they still did not make it totally. It says the tachlis is that even beyond that. He says it's like those tzaddikim compared to us is like a piece of leather, which is clean, which you can make a shoe out of. and compared to a live, skin just took off the animal. There's a big difference. This is, how rough and coarse this is as compared to this. But when he says, that what he was able to attain is like a leather by himself, like a leather that doesn't have any smell at all. That is so.
What did they lack? If they've completely smashed the Yetzer Hara, what did they lack?
Who says they completely smashed the Yetzer Hara?
Well, the tzaddikim.
But with the tzaddik is not just one madrega.
Okay.
There's many madregas of tzaddikim. He says gdoilim. He says that gdoilim. But even by the gdoilim there is madrega gadol mal gadol and gavoya mal gavoya. Kiziko haguf, because the cleansing of the body, that's the processing of the leather, in the skin, which is that essence, that the reality of medama, all the types come from there. And through this, when you cleanse the body, you attain a total intellect, mental faculties, v'emunah shleima, and complete and total emunah, betachlis hashleimus, asher lehem, v'amunam, and the people, that are not fortunate, they do not work as hard and have achieved the cleansing of the body to that degree. He says even total tzaddikim, not each and every one of them, can attain, such a level. It's like they're saying, listen, this person is very rich. He has $50 million. He's definitely a rich man, right? This person is very rich. He has $500 million. He's richer than the first one. So just an example. So the first one is not rich. He's still rich. And there's another one that has $5 billion. He's also rich. It doesn't make the one that has $500 million not rich. Just as in comparison. And so forth and so on. So a person that has $20 million is rich, and a person that has $100 billion is rich. But the same thing is tzidkis. There is tzaddik, and there is tzaddik, and there is tzaddik. Very good. It says, Va'ikim, this is even tzaddikim gmurim.
To the billionaire, it's nothing. 20 million.
What? Right. Pocket change, right?
Once in the casino, I used to work in a casino. There was two multi-millionaires playing really high stake games. And no, it's a very quick story. And one of these guys, and they had like a dispute about taking a card or something like that. And the one guy says to the other one, he says, "You know how much I'm worth? I'm worth like 300 million pounds. You know how much I'm worth? Like, you can't talk to me like that." He says to the dealer, the other guy says to the dealer, "Give me your cards, give me the deck." He says, "I'll cut the deck for it. I'll cut the deck for your 300 million. So much more wealthy." He's like, "You want to know who's rich? Shut up. We'll cut the deck for it." Like, when you have that amount of money, when you have that amount of tzidkus, righteousness, the 20 million man is nothing to you. You are so much higher. That's what I'm saying.
You can cut the deck for them. It says, that's why the main tikkun of the lower people are the kirvas tzadikim amitim shezochol de zikuch gufim mebchina nal. So mimele, our tikkun is to come close to tzadikim, to those tzadikim that attain that bechina, and it was to where we are. I lost myself. Would you mind asking to face the other direction? If you could, it would be very helpful. Kiziko Haguf also memela the tikkun of the Hamon Am, the regular people, is is to come close to the tzaddikim amitim that was zoche by cleaning their body to such an extent, to tremendous moichin, and ruach nevuah, ruach hakodesh amiti. That was zoche to ruach hakodesh, to a ruach nevuah. They have the capacity and the ability to cleanse the medama of the entire world. In order to bring everybody to tachlis ha'emunah. We said that they still need to have epis, an awakening of their own. The tzaddik cannot do everything for you. You have to put yourself into this and to epis awaken yourself up, and through this awakening that you do, you have the ashpah of the tzaddik from above. That without a beginning, awakening from below, you can't force the people out of where they are, despite themselves. Right. And the main result of theirs, that what the Yeshu should take their money, the mind, and strip it. And take their sechel totally. Like they don't have any sechel at all. Just listen to what the tzaddik emes is telling you. And you should give over the seichel and their heart to him totally. That as long as a person is insistent, to hold on to what he knows better. In other words, he accepts everything the tzaddik is saying. But there's a certain point that I know better. There's a certain nekuda that I still know better. And he's not makar at all. So there is difference. There's a different saga of makar of klal. Rabbeinu says in another place that any tzaddik that cannot show those that are very, very high madrega, and those that haven't even started yet in Avodas Hashem, and those in a very, very low madrega, that Hashem is with them, ain't no tzaddik klal. He's not. So these the same places what he's saying. Eino, this is eino mekulav klal, and then he's saying eino tzaddik klal. So, how can you say that the tzaddik, every tzaddik is can communicate? He's a tzaddik, he's Shem Bris and everything. The Zohar Kodesh says that the definition of a tzaddik is the Shem Bris.
How do you give your intellect to just any tzaddik?
Just a second. And the same thing over here. We all have our own seichel, an aspect of our own seichel. But that's what we're working for. That's what we're doing. So you can ain't nothing cool of klal, but he's b'chlal not close to the tzaddik. So Anash said that when you're talking about the tzaddik, that tzaddik cannot do, show the exalted ones that haven't even started, and the lower ones that Hashem is with them. He says the pshat is not pshat that he's not a tzaddik at all. He says ain't no tzaddik klal. He's not a general tzaddik. He's not a tzaddik of the klal, of the people. Of the klal. He's a tzaddik prati. He's a private tzaddik. He's a tzaddik for himself. But he's not a tzaddik of klal. He's not a tzaddik of that can lead a flock, that can makarv people. Because he doesn't have the ability to do what they need. The high ones need to be shown that haven't started, and the low ones need to be shown Hashem is with them. And if you cannot do that, you're not tzaddik klal, you're tzaddik prat, you're not tzaddik klal, you're tzaddik for yourself. The same thing is over here. It's the same thing with the inyan of tshuva. As long as you have your own mind, doesn't necessarily mean that you already cleansed it completely. What it means is, you know you have your own seichel. You know you're bringing your own baggage. But you know this is a fault of yours. It's not, what can you do? You're stuck with it in the meantime. You're working on cleaning it. You know, but you have an emunah that you realize that what you need to do is you need to throw your seichel at all. But right now you're not capable of it. That's called that you're mekushet at the tzaddik. But if you have, I had somebody that used to learn with me when Esh Kodesh was in the basement, was in the other apartment, and the guy used to learn, and he heard from me how much you needed to have a manik, to have a tzaddik, a leader, that you have to have a... So he went and he picked himself a tzaddik. It was definitely El Chayid. That his das is against Rabbeinu B'chlal.
The person that he put.
He was makar to somebody who was the opposite. And so I said, so what's the seichel? He said, he used the das that I told him, for the opposite. For the opposite. He needed tzaddik, so he took a tzaddik. The tzaddik leads him away from Rabbeinu. But that's a tzaddik. That's pshat. He's no makor of klal. When many people, they want to juggle, they say, that I'm like Chabad and Breslev, and I take from each one. That means makor of klal.
That doesn't mean that the Rebbe wasn't a tzaddik.
V'dai is a tzaddik. But what I'm saying is that
he's a tzaddik.
It's tzaddik plat. It's not tzaddik klal. But the point is that the main thing is that when you, it's like the difference is that somebody that accepts the entire Torah in principle, he believes in everything, but there's certain things he still cannot do. He is where he is, And then you have another one who's holding on a much higher madrega. He's mekam a lot more, but there's a certain portion of the Torah that he says that's not. He doesn't hold of that. Who is really more closer to the Torah? The first one, even though he's not zoicha to do everything or as much as the second one is doing, he accepts everything. But in the meantime, what can you do? That's the hand he was dealt, right? It's like you work in a casino, right? That's what you have. You have 17, you have 16. What can you do? That means that as long as you're keeping your own seichel means, in this point, I hold that I know better than the tzaddik.
Because you're like Mekushit to this.
Either this, whatever it is, but you're still holding up. Says there's certain things you didn't know. That's pshat. It's not the core of cloud. The fact that you are, if you're Mekushit yourself to tzaddik completely, but hey, what can you do? Your mind is still crude and rough, and as we said, you still see the world out of your eyes. You haven't changed yourself over yet. But in principle, you realize that it's a fault of yours. It's a defect of yours. It's not that that's the way it's supposed to be. That means you are Mekushit. Okay? כמבואר הפסוק עם נובל ולא חכם, אב לקבילו רייסה ולא חכימו. שעיקר קבלת התורה היה רק על ידי זה. עם נובל ולא חכם, the pasuk כביכול says that a wilted people, the wilted people or wicked people, ולא חכם, that does not, that has not wizened. Then it says, the nation that received the Torah and did not wizen. What does it mean? The Am Yisrael, how Am Yisrael was able to recover the Chokhmah, they totally threw their minds away. They put the mind aside completely. But if they would have said, okay, I'm willing to accept this, only if it passes the judgment of my own seichel, they would have never received the term. They wouldn't have been able to. This is a very, very important yesod. The entire seichel of the entire world, even the Frume Yidden, those that have Yir Shemayim, as long as they did not cleanse the taivas of their heart totally, in this aspect, like a skin, like a leather that is worked over so much it doesn't have any smell whatsoever. And then they really don't have no sechel amiti b'chlal. They call sichlam, and their entire sechel, or v'vchinas madama, is just an aspect of the madama. Shukoich haguf, that's the power of the body. Koich habehemi is the power of the mystic power. Mechal shelo poshtu es guf madayin legami behemius. As long as you don't strip your body from behemius totally, the perception that you receive of reality is still tainted and therefore cannot be relied on. It cannot be relied on. You have to be samech on the tzaddik. The gam medama shalem no v'adayin legam kanan. And if their medama is also not completely cleansed, but can ikar tikun l'tzkal Hashem Yisborach, their tikun to come close to Hashem Yisborach, the only way, through the emunas of chachamim. They believed in Hashem and in Moshe. You hear what you said, that Am Yisrael, what happened? Kodesh Baruch Hu tore the sea from them, right? And then they say they believed in Hashem and in Moshe. What did they believe? They saw the sea split. Believe is only something that you can't see, right? That you don't understand. What's left to believe? I mean, it's like this American saying, I'll believe it when I see it. Or it's just totally stupid. What do you believe it when you see it? When you see it, you know it. You don't believe it. Believe is shaykh only when you don't see. So they saw already the sea was split. Moshe Rabbeinu said, I'm going to do this, and I will split the sea, and the sea split. The Torah says, you know something? Now they believe in Hashem, believe in Moshe. They didn't believe. They saw. They saw proof positive over their own eyes. But that's the pshat. The pshat is that even though they saw what they saw, and they already had this certification, they reached the idea of such certainty in the Tziyas HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Kedusha of the Tzaddik, they were still not worked over totally. They were still not processed totally.
You're saying if Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't
No,
tzaddik?
no. The people, even though they saw that they reached such a certitude of knowledge and Tziyas Hashem and good of Moshe Rabbeinu, nevertheless, they still were not tzaddik on such a level of Moshe Rabbeinu, which means that the only way that they can really connect themselves to the real emunah, to Amadama, which is clean, is through emunah tzaddikim. Because as long as you don't cleanse yourself totally, even if you're a tzaddik, even if you're kosher yid, you're shemaim, you're still totally polluted, and your medama is polluted and cannot be trusted. The only way you can do it is if you connect to the tzaddik, and the tzaddik cleans it for you. And he gives you the light.
Is that what Moshe did when he did the Mola?
I don't know. All I'm saying is that why the Torah says in the time of Gres Yamsuf, Ve'aminu b'Shem Moshe Avdoi. Because even when they reached that level of certitude, it was still in the Kuda that now they realize that they need to have emunah in Moshe. as high as they reached, and as certain as they were, I mean, hey, the Red Sea split. Nevertheless, they realized that their own Madrega was still a Madrega where the Madam was not totally fixed. And you can say, I mean, and it was such a tremendous Madrega that they were, that they said that what a simple, small maiden servant saw in Kriyas Yamsuf, Yechezkel ben Buzi didn't see. Greatest Nova didn't see. Which means there was such a revelation of Ruach Nevuah. By the time, that a small maiden saw things that Yechezkel ben Buzi didn't see. Still, in comparison to Moshe, compared to the Emes La'amita, without connecting through Moshe Rabbeinu through Emunah, they were still totally wrong. As you can see, with this entire, as high Madrega as they were, they came to Har Sinai after they got the Torah, and they served the Egel. Which means that when there is an impurity, even which is a dark min a dark, if you're not soymech on the tzaddik, can end up in a calamity, in an epic collapse. It's a raya. When there was a gam in this Indian, we didn't know what happened to Moshe. We need somebody else. They disconnected from Moshe. Bam! The whole thing fell apart. Which shows you that even on such a high madrega in Am Yisrael, where when they came out of Mitzrayim, if you're not connected to Moshe, to the Tzaddik Emes, the whole thing can end up in smoke. על די אמונס חכם, מבחינת ויאמר משהו משה עבדוי. דהיינו לזכר צדיקים אמיתיים, to come closer to צדיקים, להאמין בם, and to believe in them, ולבטל דייתו נגדם, כאילו אין לו שום שכל כלל, and totally ממבטל יסף תאים להגיד, לא have any שכל at all. וזה בחינה שמותר לכתוב ספר תורה בתפילין, this is what you are allowed to write. ספר תורה and תפילין מזוזס אפילו גבי אור נבלה וטריפה, even on the skin, or behema, that is actually forbidden to be eaten, to be consumed, because it's nevela, it's trefa. As long it is for a pure kind. It comes to tell you, it comes to allude to you that everybody can be corrected, anybody can be rectified, anybody can receive the light of the film. As long as you constitute an aspect of a skin of a kosher behemoth that is being worked over lishmal shekdusha stam, that is being processed for the sake and for the intention of kedusha stam. In other words, that they strip and they work over their mind and their seichel and their intellect, mikol diotem, from all their opinions, with sfarasem and all the svaras and all the cheshbonis, v'aknunu she believe in the twistedness of their heart, she'alemad hena, that they had up to that point. You prepare yourself to receive the kedusha of tefillin. That's the kedusha of tefillin, that's the kedusha of the intellect, of the das, of the tzaddik. For everything that they tell you, that this is this and this is that. And not to move from their das, not to the right and not to the left. If you do that, even though when a person has spoiled so much, it constitutes a skin of a nevela, of a treifa. he can still be rectified and receive the light of Kedusha Tzadfil. We said it more than once before, that this union of beetle to the tzaddik is the beetle of the body to the head. When we explain what was the union of why the Zohar Kodesh says that on Pgam Ablis there's no tikkun. Rabbeinu said, nobody knows how to learn the Zohar except for me, and there is tikkun. And we explained that why is there no tikkun to Pgam Ablis? Because the 365 organs and blood vessels in the body, they correspond to Ramach Mitzvah Saseh. 613 organs and sinews. They correspond to the 613 mitzvahs of the Torah. Mimele, the Gashmias, all the organs of a person, they emanate from the person's moyach at the fetus stage. And we said that right now, in our time, the metzius is that if a person will lose the hand, it does not grow. It does not grow. But there is a metzius, like for instance, like a lizard. If it loses the tail, it grows back. The situation that the limb today, an amputated limb does not regrow, is an unnatural situation. They said when the bodies will rise up from the grave, they will rise up b'mumamoidim. This is Mesa Olam, all the people that are deceased, will be deceased. When they stand up at Tchias HaMesim, b'mumamoidim, they come up with their own, with their own imperfections, with their own crippleness. And then everything grows back. Then the body, is being healed and being perfected. The reason for it is that really the moyach has the capability of regrowing the organs to nature and to rectify any machal in the body. But that ability to regenerate is blocked today. Today is a situation where it is unnatural situation.
So before I went once, a long time ago,
Right.
there was some guy who was like 8 feet tall because in his brain the stop growing mechanism didn't work. So he kept on growing and growing. The guy is like 8 feet tall. And they say if they don't do something about it, he'll die because he'll just keep growing and growing. 4 years old, 9 feet tall. Just like the switch that you turn on.
Right. So the same thing is over here. Now the ruchnius, how can you do tshuva? That when a person's head, when an avera, any kind of an avera, is parallel to a certain spiritual organ in the body. So there is a spiritual hand, there's a spiritual eye, there's a spiritual tongue, a spiritual ear, a spiritual foot, whatever. So when a person does a certain avera, means that he is harming an organ, beruchnius. But in beruchnius there's no such stopgap. There's no switch. So when a person does tshuva, what does it mean? That from the source, the spiritual source, the spiritual brain, can come down. A person that goes back to the mind, does tshuva, and then comes back. When the person does tshuva, it brings a tikkun to that spiritual organ. That spiritual organ sort of regrows. The only problem is that gamma bris is a defect in the brain. Once the brain itself is the source of rectification, is affected, how can you, where are you going to go to do tshuva on that? You can't do tshuva on that. Because the tshuva is only to there. If the there itself is problem, that's it. You're toast.
You're a cancerous cell. You can reproduce cancer.
It's not. You shechted the goose that lays the golden eggs. Might as well stick a fork in him. He's done. Okay. But when a person is mevat, but what we can do what the Kodesh Baruch Hu did for us in Karbanos. We can shift, and we can make our entirety to become a body and an organ of the tzaddik, who is the head. Instead of our body being a body to our own head, our body with the head becomes like the hand of the tzaddik, an organ of the tzaddik. The tzaddik, the moichin is b'shleimus. You can get a tikkun from there. How do you do this? How do you become an organ? You give up your own mind. Your hand is your hand because your hand does not have a will of its own. To be continued.
To lose yourself.
Yeah.